Now, for the purposes of looking at this exercise, I'm going to treat conventional barbell curls and curls using an easy bar as being the same exercise. Naturally, there are versions and variations you can use that employ specific aspects to this, but at the moment I'm just going to treat it as though it's the same exercise. So I'll do a little bit of troubleshooting on this. Now, essentially, with most forms of bicep curl, there are two ways you can approach it. Either you can treat it as an isolation exercise for the biceps, in which case you'll be using a little less weight, but you'll be particularly trying to target just the biceps muscle and limit the involvement of other muscle groups. Or you can do it as more of a compound exercise, what a lot of people would call a cheat method, where you bring in deliberately, or otherwise, but bring in the use of other muscle groups. So I'll start off with just showing an isolation barbell curl. Now I need to set up just like most other exercises, making sure that my feet are an even distance apart, that I'm in balance, that when I lift the bar I've got my spine in a good natural and neutral position, knees a little bit bent and rooted on the ground, because the weight is in front of me, I don't want it pulling me forwards too much. Now what I'm going to do here for an isolation exercise is simply curl using the biceps, attempting to keep all the other muscle groups that are not directly involved in the exercise relatively relaxed. So here we go. Very simple curl. I'll show that once again. There we go. Now, as I say, there are variations on this. There's what people call perfect curls, where you lean back and raise the bar, coming in a little bit. There are all sorts of ways of doing it, but essentially this is a barbell biceps curl. When you're doing it as an isolation, as I say, you don't want to bring in other muscle groups, so I'm not going to try doing this. Okay, because there I'm getting a bit of leg lift in there, I'm bringing in more of the deltoid, using a swing to get the bar up, turning it into more of a compound exercise. Basically what a lot of people will call cheating. Now the thing about cheating, I'll show you the same thing with the easy bar, is that sometimes cheating, as people call it, is a good idea, but only under certain circumstances. First of all, using the easy bar, I'll demonstrate again good setup and isolation. I'm in a good position here, I sink my weight ever so slightly, make sure my spine is straight, hips and pelvis forward slightly, and when as I curl, I just use the biceps and limit the involvement of any other muscle. So it's just a curl, nothing else. If I show you what I would call cheating, here I am. Boom. Obviously I'm bringing in a lot of other muscles. So, first question, why would I want to cheat? Well, sometimes it's not a matter of wanting to. If I've been doing a lot of biceps curls, I'm beginning to reach failure, not sure I can do it, my final rep, sometimes the only way of getting the bar up is to cheat a little bit. And that will allow you to do a final rep or two rather than quit. So in that respect you could say cheating is better than nothing, because at least you're getting a little bit more work on the biceps. Cheating is also important if you wish to do negatives. I won't dwell on that subject because it's a little complicated and involved. But for example, most people will be able to lower more weight than they can raise. So for example, I may cheat the bar up, but then attempt to lower with control. And so on. And finally, of course, I may be using a cheat deliberately more as a neurological training method by putting more weight on the bar and knowing that even though I'm going to bring in other muscle groups with a little bit of a swing here, I'm going to train the bicep to be handling more weight so that then when it's used to it I adopt a stricter form with more control. However, whichever method you're using, it all comes down to this simple mechanism, standing in good posture and curling. Same thing again. Whether you choose to cheat or whether you choose to do strict isolations does depend on your training goal. The main thing is what you might call positive cheating, doing so because you've chosen to do it for a particular reason, or because you're prepared to accept it in order to develop a higher work capacity, get the last couple of reps out, do some negatives. That's fine. Just don't cheat and think you're doing isolation exercises, because then you won't really progress very well. More in the next video.